All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're talking about how to turn your body into its very own self-heating furnace for the winter. Yep, we are going to build what I like to call a stove body.
So, does this sound familiar? You're always bundled up, maybe you're shivering constantly, and you just cannot seem to get warm no matter how many layers you pile on. If you're nodding your head right now, you are in exactly the right place.
I want you to think of this as your own personal quest for winter wellness. We're about to arm you with some really amazing ancient wisdom and honestly, some delicious strategies to not just survive the cold, but to actually conquer it from the inside out. So, let's get started. Our quest really begins by uncovering this core philosophy of winter wellness, and it's rooted in traditional Chinese medicine. Now, this isn't about quick fixes or temporary solutions. This is about fundamentally changing how your body deals with the cold. The core idea here is beautifully simple. It really just boils down to two principles: Kang, which means to store, and Wen, which means to warm. So the whole idea is to store your body's essential energy deep inside, kind of like a hibernating bear, and then use specific foods to keep that internal furnace burning bright all winter long. To pull this off, we need to get to know our internal team. In traditional Chinese medicine, organs aren't just, well, organs. They're seen as entire functional systems. So picture your kidneys as your body's own power company. They're the ones storing your fundamental life energy, your qi. And then you've got your spleen, which is like the central kitchen. Its job is to transform all the food you eat into energy you can actually use. So a happy kitchen means a warm, strong body. Simple as that. So how do we keep this amazing team happy and supported? Well, there are three golden rules for winter eating. First, you've got to prioritize warm foods. Think stews, soups, roasted vegetables. Second, and this is a big one, you need to actively avoid cold and raw stuff like salads or iced drinks. Those things can seriously dampen your internal fire. And third, you want to lean into slow-cooked meals, like porridges and broths. They're just so much easier for your central kitchen, your spleen, to digest and absorb. Okay, so now that we have the rules of the game, it's time to assemble your team of edible superheroes. We're going to look at two awesome color-coded teams of foods that are absolute powerhouses for winter wellness. This is the fun part. First up, let me introduce you to the 5 black heroes. In TCM, the color black is linked to the kidneys, our power company, remember? So these foods are all about storing and strengthening that vital energy. You've got black beans. They're like the internal GPS that guides energy right to the kidneys. Black sesame is your energy bar for some deep nourishment. Black rice is often called longevity rice. Black wood ear mushrooms act as an internal janitor. And last but not least, walnuts are your wisdom reserve, boosting both your brain and your kidney function. What a lineup. Now, for the other half of our dynamic duo, the 5 red warriors. Red foods are all about blood and circulation, which, as you can imagine, are crucial for warming you up. Leading the charge is mutton, the super stove. It's one of the absolute most warming meats you can eat. Red dates are like little edible warmth packs for a quick energy boost. Goji berries act as an energy catalyst, really getting that circulation going. Brown sugar is your instant warmer, and carrots work as a skin shield, protecting you from that awful winter dryness. So, we have our superhero ingredients. Now it's time to forge our weapons. We're going to walk through 3 ultimate warming potions or, recipes that are super simple, incredibly powerful, and just perfect for your quest against the cold. Potion number 1 is this amazing, classic, kidney-boosting porridge. It is so simple. You just soak the ingredients, combine them, and let them simmer. And while it's cooking for about 2 hours, trust me, your kitchen is going to fill with this incredible, warm, nutty aroma. This porridge is just the perfect way to start a cold day because it deeply nourishes that kidney energy we were talking about. Next up, for when you need the heavy artillery, we have a truly potent cold buster, Angelica Ginger Mutton Soup. This is a classic remedy for anyone who feels that deep, bone-chilling cold. The steps are easy. You blanch the mutton, then just slow cook it with ginger and angelica root. And the result? Oh, it's this rich, savory soup that feels like it's heating you from your very core. It is so effective at driving out that stubborn, deep-seated cold. And for your everyday weapon, we've got this super simple warming tea. It honestly couldn't be easier. You just slice up the ingredients, let them steep, and sweeten it up. You can even make a big batch in a thermos and just sip on it throughout the day. It is the perfect drink to have at your desk or for a quick afternoon warmth boost. Okay, so applying this ancient wisdom to our modern lives, it requires a little bit of strategy, right? We have to navigate some of the hidden dangers of our comfortable lifestyles, like being in central heating all the time, and of course, the temptation of all those holiday feasts. Because we spend so much time in these superheated environments and eating all these rich foods, we can actually develop something called internal fire. The warning signs might be things like a constantly dry throat, acne breakouts, constipation, or maybe feeling restless and irritable. This is basically your body screaming that it's out of balance. It's getting too hot and dry on the inside. So here is your cheat sheet for smart winter living. Instead of eating until you're totally stuffed, which just overloads your whole system, try eating until you're just about 70% full. And rather than going for those heavy, greasy meals every single night, make sure you're incorporating balancing foods like radishes and cabbage into your diet. These guys actually help clear out that internal fire and keep everything in harmony. And here is a final tip that sounds so simple, but it is incredibly powerful. Stay hydrated with warm water. But here's the key. You have to sip it slowly throughout the day. Gulping down cold water can be a real shock to your system, but slowly sipping warm water helps maintain that internal warmth, and it fights back against all that dry winter air. Look, if you only take away one single thing from our whole chat today, let it be this. This quote perfectly sums up the entire strategy. Eat black to store power, eat red to warm up. Eat those black foods to store your deep foundational energy, and eat the red foods to build warmth and keep your circulation moving. Store and warm, that's the secret. So your quest to build a stove body has officially begun. You've got the philosophy, you've met the superhero foods, and you have the powerful potions in your arsenal. The only question left is, which one are you going to try first? The nourishing porridge, the potent soup, or that simple daily tea?